how you I love how you say you're in the first world again because you were in fucking Portland, Oregon. Or wherever. Where were you?
I was
Is
in
it
Seattle.
Portland?
I was in
Oh,
Seattle.
dude, that's even worse, bro.
Dude, it's probably like, I'd say it's equivalent in some spots. Dude,
I
when
think
we
it's
went there, God, I went there to go climb Rainier. No, it wasn't Rainier, it was a different time, but it was like in the 1st of September. And dude, I was like struggling to find someone who wasn't trans, to be
oh
honest.
my God.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't belong here.
Yeah,
These aren't my people.
those are not my people. Dude, honestly, I was surprised whenever we went to the Denver event for Level Up. There's parts of Denver that are pretty out there, dude. I will say, like, we were like, oh, let's go downtown, let's go check it out. And it was just like a bunch of fucking weed, like potheads everywhere. Like just the whole place smelled like weed.
Yeah.
And we were a little bit out of our element. What's up, Gustavo Lopez?
Especially like where you stayed in, like there's like, it's pretty patchy,
Yeah.
that area. Like if you go, yeah, like it's interesting. I will say Denver has its quirks, we'll say.
I'm so spoiled, man. I can only live places, which is funny because
You live
like
in Envigado, or do you live in
no, I live in like the best neighborhood. I live in Alejandría. But I can only live places that are like super rich. I'm like such a spoiled brat. Like Orange County, California, like parts of Miami that are like super neighborhood friendly. That's about it. Other than that, like everywhere else that I've been, I'm like, this is kind of gross. There's too many homeless people and there's too many like sketchy people walking around. I don't like the area.
Dude,
Too
yeah, I know.
spoiled.
I'm trying to move to the mountains, bro. Get out of the city.
There you go. I could do
Yeah,
that one day. I had
be a
to
little
convince
close.
my girl to do that. If I can convince her to go out and live on a farm, one day I'll do that too.
Dude, maybe you can be like Ty Lopez and just get a big SEC lawsuit as well.
I was about to say, where are you going with this? Ty Lopez is going to prison, bro.
Dude, that guy's definitely going to jail, no doubt.
Dude, it's good though, man.
Life's good.
Yeah, I was saying it's good that I think that there needs to be more regulation around coaches, consultants. Because let me ask you this: why do you coach?
Because I want to help people make more money.
Okay, so
And it was a huge impact for me whenever I was coming up. Like everything in my life was from a coach and someone who was a mentor to me, or a mastermind or whatever. It's like wrestling, baseball, business. Like everything's been. I've had someone tell me what to do, and I just go and do it, and it works.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to just learn from other people's mistakes. So here's the thing with what we do, like wholesaling specifically, we've been talking about this offline a lot, is the business model of wholesaling versus other business models. So you're not reinventing the wheel. There's very little innovation in what we do. You know what I mean? If anything, like you go to any other industry and you can take stuff. So like, for example, what you did is you went and you saw marketing from other industries and you brought it into wholesaling, which does really, really well because we're in the prehistoric ages with everything we do in the wholesaling market. And I did the same thing for sales. I was like, okay, everybody's using the same basic ass sales process, asking about the condition, motivation, time frame, asking price. And I was like, let me go see what other salespeople are doing. And I brought it into this industry. Not a lot of innovation in our industry at all, right? That being said, I kind of forgot where I was going with this because I started to go off on a tangent.
You're talking about coaching and how there needs, like online service, basically how there needs to be more regulation around it.
Oh yeah, it's just plug and play.
Yeah.
That being said, like you just find somebody that has, like, for example, you find somebody that's doing $1 million a year and you just do what they did to get to $1 million a year. And then like, okay, how do I get, if you find anybody that's doing, like the $3 million a year, it's like, okay, it's kind of the same thing. So just like a little bit of a different skill. It's hiring acquisitions, managing your pipeline, building out your processes to get to 3 to 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're reinventing the wheel. So yeah, that is very helpful. The problem that I was going back to though, is I think there's a lot of people that are saying they're doing deals. There's a lot of coaches right now that are like, oh, I make millions of dollars. And then they're usually selling the do your first deal program. And that's all they know how to do because they did a deal like 2 years ago. And so they're teaching outdated tactics. And the success rate is like, we looked it up, right? It was like 1%.
It's like no one did.
Yeah, for like the people that's all they do is like they just know how to teach you how to get your first deal. It's like, why is their success rate so low? It's because they don't actually know how to run a successful business, like run a successful wholesaling business. They know how to get a deal, which honestly, like, it's not that hard. It's just like once you get your first deal, that doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean you don't have to work anymore. It doesn't mean you know how to run a business. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the part that people are missing is if the program that you're signing up for, that's what they're offering you, is just to teach you how to get your first deal, and that's what they've done. And the rest of their program is just them JVing with their clients to basically dispo their deals because they have investor base or investor lift. It's like that's not someone running an actual business. And so I got into this, like, I'm not one of those hey, I do it for the impact of helping people. I do like helping people, but for me it's super selfish. One, it's a talent acquisitions funnel. So I hire people. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I just had this dude who joined my program, and he's a rep for another company, and he's already like, dude, when can I join your team? I'm like, bro, I'll be hiring, December, January. So I'll have a fully trained acquisitions manager. And then two, I get direct access to like Jeremy Miner and all those guys. So I get the highest level sales training as well. That's why I got into coaching. I'm not like one of those like, oh, you're not either. Like you obviously, there's like the part of it that you do like. I think you're more about like the fulfillment side. For me, I'm like, nah, I like making fucking money. You know what I mean? And this helps my wholesaling business make more money because I get better talent, which at some point in your business, that's the thing that matters,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I also like love, like, for me, like my longer term vision is, and like kind of like what my, like why I got into it more so is like I want to go down and build the machine that builds businesses without me, so I can go and like own a portfolio of companies that I have a stake in, that basically I just do service for them, like marketing, consulting, process, leadership, all those, hiring, those kind of things. And so like that's like the bigger vision for me. And like, yeah, obviously, the cash flow is good. You make money, every month. It's solid. It's you get access to deals, right? So like my clients send me deals. I do occasionally some deals with my clients. I have access to other people's company. There's like a lot of pros to having a network and authority.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of pros.
Having a brand, dude, you have a ton of people that reach out to you. Like, for example, everyone that's on my team right now has come from my network, either me speaking at an event, me speaking basically somewhere, Instagram, people following me, people know what I'm doing. And once you get your business off the ground, you start hiring people, then it does become it's like your talent acquisitions. How do you get good people into your organization? And you either sift through a shitload of resumes, which sucks, or like for you, you just post something. Like if you posted right now, hey, I'm looking for an acquisitions manager, you're going to get people that would join.
People. Like, oh, dude, my business kind of sucks. I just want to work for someone and close instead of, doing it myself. Or, I've been trying to get into the game for a while. I'm going to grind,
Yeah, Hyro asked a good question. I'll answer, and I'll let Chandler answer. In your opinion, how far can you take a solo entrepreneur? How far can you take your business revenue wise? I want to know if I peaked in my first year. If I peak in my first year,
definitely didn't peak in your first year. There's no way.
Yeah, that's not possible.
Yeah. It's like saying you peak in high school, bro.
I would say about 1 million. Some people do. I would say
a lot of people do for sure. Keep going.
I would say largely depends on your market, bro. So if you're in a market like SoCal, Miami, New York, the Bay Area, I mean, honestly, you can get to 250K a month and by yourself, because if you're only doing deals that are 70K rips, 100K rips, you really just need to do like, 2-3 deals a month. I can tell you from a deal perspective where you start to kind of lose, traction, you start to need to hire somebody, is once you get to about 5 per month, you get about a contract, because you're going to get a contract every single week. And then you're going to also have to sell that contract on top of doing your own marketing and all that stuff. Yeah. So nationwide, that's going to be, so you're talking about five contracts, probably 3 to 4 closing. So about 100K a month is about where you would top out at if you're not in a market or you're not flipping. Like if you're flipping and you're doing, it really depends on your average deal size. So I would say it's more about number of deals, less about your profit, your revenue.
Yeah, I was gonna say like probably about like 2 or 3 closed deals per month, because that's about like 4 to 5 contracts per month. It's kind of like what I see too. You just like start to really lose the ability to do things well. But if you hire a couple like admins, like like let's say you hire a dispo admin who can do a lot of the busy work, you could get that even higher. I know, John, you're pro like going straight closer and no lead management specialist. And I do think that that's definitely like, you definitely have to have a good closer. But even if you just hired a US based follow-up specialist who you train and groom into be a closer over time, like, you could easily get that to 7 figures a year for sure.
Yeah. And if you're flipping houses, there's other problems that come with that. Yeah. Like depending on what you call completely solo, right? Because if you're flipping houses, and let's say you're flipping houses, so like I have a guy I was just talking to who's flipping houses in New York, and his average assignment fee or average deal was like $80K, but he would do a couple 150 to 250K rips. Now he could basically just do that by himself as long as he had a project manager that was contract. So that's technically not an employee. If you're just wholesaling 100K a month, man, you can get there. The question you just have to ask yourself is like, do you want to? Because like for me, once I started hitting 6 figures, I was like, man, I do not need to be doing this dispo stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, I should probably get this dispo stuff off my plate. And I also, the next thing is like, okay, I also don't need to be doing follow-up. Let me have somebody follow up with my leads for me and book them on my calendar. And that was it. Like those were the 2 easiest things to get off your plate. And then once you're there, I mean, you could stay there at 150K a month for a while.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's like once you get to doing like 3-4 deals a month, delegating your time back and then focusing your time on how do you do bigger deals is the better use of time instead of like your deals. That's what we did, and that's I think what I would recommend to most people.
Also, bro, don't even worry about revenue, dude. It's all about profit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, the cool thing is when you're one person, your profit's going to be high. So I'll just tell you some dumbass mistakes I've seen people make. Chandler, you probably have some dumbass mistakes you've seen people make too.
Mistakes that you're about to mention.
No, you never made these. So like,
never made.
You probably never have. I'll tell you the common mistakes I see people make when they start making money in the wholesaling business. Number 1, they're like, oh, I need somebody to dispo, so let me partner. Let me partner with somebody, and so I'm going to give away half my equity for somebody to do my dispo. There goes half your profit, bro.
Dude, I have a guy who just signed up for Level Up, and literally he's doing 30K a month, but he's doing 50% to 70% on dispo to every deal. I'm like, bro,
what the fuck?
I was like, bro, like he's like, I would have made 90 grand this month. He made 35. I would have made 90 grand this month if I would have done my own dispo. I'm like, dude, you definitely need to do that as the first order of business for sure.
Yeah. Or people hire. Yeah. That was the other part too, is people paying like crazy commissions. So I had somebody that they're in my group and they asked, I pay my lead managers 30%. I was like, 30%? You pay your lead managers 30%? Like, what do you have? Because you're going to pay 20% to marketing, 30% to lead management. Do you have an acquisitions? You're paying 50%. You want to go negative every month? It's like, that's the biggest thing, man, is your business at the beginning. That's when it's the easiest to give away the most amount of equity. And so like, you just have to kind of stick through the first couple of years, or maybe not even first couple of years, really like the first year, and just kind of build everything out yourself. And then you can hire people. So like, there's a couple of milestones. Once you get to 75K a month, you can pay a dispo 7.5%, and they'll be good on a 60K a year salary. I think you can get a good, in most markets, you can get a good dispo rep for a 60K a year salary. Like, unless you're just SoCal, just Miami, like the really high cost markets, you're going to have to do a little bit more revenue. 75K a month, you end up paying a acquisitions manager 10%. They make a little over 80 grand a year. In a lot of markets, that can get you a good, younger acquisitions manager. And then, your overall commissions are going to be under 20%. And as long as your marketing is, 20% as well, so you're getting a 5x ROAS. Now you're at 40%, you're at 60% margin, and you're probably going to have another 10% fixed expenses. You can keep a 50% profit margin pretty easily if you do it that way, right? It's just when you start giving away the farm at the beginning that you get screwed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when you're giving up half the business, because then you got to like renegotiate that and you got to relearn it, and it's like all kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
But if you just like made more, like if you just worked a little bit more, learn the skill. Like for example, like Danny, I know I just said you got your first 20K deal. You need to learn how to dispo ASAP. So yeah, it's like I'm assuming you're making half that, so 10K. If you just had another 10K in your pocket because you knew how to dispo, like that's a huge lift when you start your business.
Yeah, but he wants to know how would you reinvest it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Is it 10 or 20, Danny? What do you have? And I'm assuming all of it goes back into the business. Is just my assumption.
Yeah,
what
let's assume it's 10.
Let's assume it's that, and then it all goes back into business. And you got your first JV deal. I mean, I would just do more of whatever you just did to get that deal. 10K is not really like enough to make a huge dent in much, really.
I had a 90K deal and he JV'd it 70-30. What did you get, the 70K split, or did you get the 30K, the 30 split? Yeah, that's crazy. I used to do that. So it's a 20K. Oh, so he's gonna walk away with 20. Bro, if that does change things, because now you can go inbound. I'd probably get with Chandler and do some inbound, because you have 5K a month for 4 months. That's enough to get you traction. You're not gonna, on a good inbound channel, your cash conversion cycle is going to be 60-90 days. So you'll have enough to spend the 5K a month, turn that into 25-30K a month, and then you'll actually get some traction off of that. So Danny, you are in the spot that you can officially be a very successful wholesaler if you have the right tools, because once you have 20K, it's like, all right, now I have enough to like really go after the right marketing channels. Dude, did I say your name right? Hyro got the 70. So now you're like, yeah, once you're there, man, like that's actually the part that a lot of wholesalers try to get to, is they want to get to that like $20,000, $30,000 in their bank account. Cause then if you have the right tools, like you can actually scale that into a 6-figure business pretty quick.
Yeah.
6-figure a month business.
100%. Yeah. One thing I'd add to that I see like my clients, I always have to tell my clients about this, is like, whenever they start like inbound or whatever, they think that, they can just stop everything else because now they have inbound leads coming, which I'm like, dude, no, this is an investment in the future that it should pay off if you put all the work in, but you got to make sure you're doing all the things that make you money so you can keep investing in the thing that's going to make you more money in the future. So obviously, you went and implemented quick. So I'm not really doubting that that's going to be what you do, but just as a common thing I see people do all the time.
Yeah. Mo better than new. Do more of what you're already doing and make it better, and then do new.
Exactly.
Yeah, the more better new strategy, I'm a huge fan of that. Is just keep doing more of what you're already doing if it's working. So
PPL, text me, I'll help you out.
If you have this number.
I don't have your number, but I'll post it in the comments, so maybe you can text me. No one else really texts me.
What are you seeing for PPL right now? I see some people crushing with property leads. iSpeed a lead usually does well. But I see people crushing with property leads. What are you seeing for PPL?
Property leads. I think property leads is good. It's been the most stable out of all of them. Motivated leads, I don't really like it. Lead Zolo's pretty good. It's above average, I'd say. It's like worth it. Lead Zolo. Not every person has had success with Lead Zolo, and not every person has had success with property leads, but I'd say like 75% are like, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied, which is, for me, like, dude, that's fucking good, because most of the time it's like less than 50-50.
Yeah, dude, need to sell my house fast. They used to be a big one. They just shit the bed. They just started. I think a lot of these companies, I don't know what happened to them, but they just really started.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what they started doing. Because I talked to one of the guy who's a COO for Lead Zolo, is one of I know him. We're like loose friends here in Denver, but they all started, like, all these big companies. Lead Zolo does it, but they tell you who you're buying from. But for example, like Need to Sell My House Fast, Motivated Leads. I've talked to all these guys. They basically pay other vendors like a certain amount of the revenue, but they pay you like a small amount, right? So they'll pay you like, I don't know, you'll get like $50 a lead. So you have to generate leads to make money if you're selling them leads for like $30 or less.
Oh, so they're going to be low quality.
So like it's just low quality stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of PPC, man, still to this day. PPC is just I just like the very low lead to deal ratio, very fast cash conversion cycle. I find it hard to lose with PPC unless you do a couple of things wrong. Number one, if you're in one tiny market, PPC is pretty tough. Like just one tiny market. Like I would say Facebook does much better.
What would you say is tiny?
Tiny market is probably anything where the metro's under 1.3 million.
Yeah.
That would be that's my definition of tiny. But realistically, man, like if you really want PPC to work, you need to be targeting like 5 million people plus. And from what I've seen, I'm not the marketing guy, you're the marketing guy, but just from what I've seen, the only way you can make it work is if you make up for it with really big deal spreads. So like we did PPC in SoCal for a while. We just had to make up for it with really big deal spreads and going in person for everything and having basically crushing everybody on conversion rate, because our cost per qualified lead, somebody we would speak to, would be over $1,000. And so we would have to go out to basically everyone we'd speak to in person and lock up like, 1 out of 3 to really even make it to be profitable. But dude, I'll show you, like, let me show you, see if I'll pull up my screen.
While you're doing that. Yeah. Like I definitely agree. The people who do PPC in a metro, that's like, I had a client who did PPC only in Denver, and it's probably like 2.5, 3 million people. His cost per qualified. Now, again, he was using Bateman, who,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. Cost per point, same thing. And his deal size was 50K, so it was like it still made a lot of sense for him, and he was really good at sales when in person.
This was last year for us, for 2024. Spent 47 grand on PPC. We did a lot of stuff last year. We did YouTube, a lot of PPL, but these were like the top 3 channels. Average cash conversion cycle was 81 days, but our average deal size for PPC was 71 grand.
Damn.
iSpeed Elite actually outperformed. It was 52 grand. Average cash conversion cycle was 50 days. This was last year, or this year it's shifted to where PPC is outperforming iSpeed Elite. But yeah, so they both ended up at
what's
about
ISTLADZ? Is it the fuck is that?
iSpeed Elite average deal size.
Oh, dude,
that's just my autism in a bottle, bro. Dude, from all the Tylenol I take.
What am I? I'm like short circuiting over here, dude. I'm about
iSpeed Elite average deal size. Yeah, that's a sheet that only I need to understand. Yeah. So I just started putting a bunch of letters on it and yeah, let my autism work out. But dude, here I'll show you. I'll show you another thing. So we did a couple of deals. So like we did a couple of deals out of market last year. This year it's a lot more in market, but our average deal size by market, man, if we could, I'll tell you, like if you can tap into San Diego, it's a tough market to tap into, but 72 grand average deal size for San Diego, 36,000 for Riverside, 29,000 for OC, and 54,000 for LA. So overall, you could see like pretty big average deal sizes for those areas. So like the reason I say that is that's how we were profitable with PPC, is we were in a small, and that's not even a small market. That's just
like 15 million people probably.
It's like, yeah, I think it's 13. Yeah.
But it's competitive. So it's still a little bit more expensive.
It's still expensive. Yeah. Super high cost per lead. So we did better, like YouTube, we got a cheaper cost per lead out there. The thing with YouTube is you just got to get kind of used to like a couple of retail leads to get your one motivated lead. So people get frustrated with that. They're like, oh, 60% of my leads are retail, 70% are retail. It's like, first you need to learn how to close those. And so still do novations and still get those deals. But second, you got to just make sure that you're really hitting on the ones that are motivated. You can't lose those. Otherwise you just lost your revenue, and you got to be on it when your average deal size is that big. Cause if you miss one deal, there goes a 70K in revenue.
I mean, dude, it's the same. I think most marketing channels besides PPC are like that, where it's like, a certain percentage of leads are not going to be motivated. Like I'd say at least on Facebook, I know it's like probably usually it depends on the market and depends on a lot of factors, but 2 to 3 out of 10 are like actually like have like real good motivation. But the
Yeah.
problem is like, at least when I was just talking to another client, it's like if your process isn't built to know that, then like you get bogged down. So like he had like a whole sales guy issue, whatever, and he was like, dude, I didn't get any deals and I spent $5,000. I was like, well, how many did you miss? He's like, probably like 4 or 5. I was like, well,
There you
dude, like,
go.
yeah, there you go, bro. Like, what are you doing? He's like, well, yeah, I called him back and they like already signed with someone. I was like, dude, like fucking be on top of your leads. Anyways.
Yeah. Dude, I hate when people talk like that.
I'm
Like
like,
just the way you were just like I could tell the conversation.
dude,
Well, I called him
then-
back and you didn't. I'm like, when people tell me shit like that, I'm like, dude, you got to take like
I'm like, take some fucking ownership, bro.
take your business seriously. You know what I mean?
Literally.
That's one of the things. I'll tell you, like I had a guy, they're much better now, but like they were trying to join my group and they're like, oh yeah, I've been in this other program. And this program, like they teach you how to track your KPIs, the one that he was talking about. And I was like, all right, pull up your KPIs. What's that? It's not yours. No, it's not yours because you wouldn't tolerate this. But
Dude, someone came to me and I had that same conversation 2 days ago. Anyways, keep going.
and I was like, all right, pull up your KPIs. And they like laughed and they're like, oh, I don't really track my KPIs that well. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's your fucking business. Who's going to take this seriously if you don't? You know what I mean? And I think that like we were looking at success rates with other businesses, right? Like roofing companies. There's a 10% success rate to get to $1 million a year, according to ChatGPT. So take that for what it's worth. And with wholesaling, it's like 1%. And I think that people don't look at it as a business. So it's not, they're like, oh, I'm just going to use it as a side hustle and I'm going to make a little bit of money. It's like, okay, well then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a side hustle.
You're going to get a deal here and there,
Yeah. Because you're not treating it like a business. You don't know how many leads it takes you to get a deal. And if you want to do a deal a week, how many leads do you need to get every single week? What are your conversions and what are you going to do if that doesn't happen?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. We got a couple questions here, so we'll pause the rant. T-Weldy. I must be spelling that wrong, saying that wrong. So John, help me out if I'm doing it. Or it's in the phonetical way to say that. But for your Facebook guys, are you using OTP for phone numbers to confirm accuracy? So like, I'm assuming you're asking like 2-step verification or whatever. Yeah, do that. Click that little box for sure. That way it sends them the code and they have to click the code to verify the phone number on all the leads. And then I'm assuming it's Gyro or Hyro. Statewide versus countywide on Google PPC. I mean, dude, John was just talking about it. It's like you gotta have a population. Like I would say if you have a population less than 3 million, don't even waste your time. But definitely like above 5 million is gonna be way better results.
Yeah.
Do PPL if you're gonna just do that. Like if you're gonna or do like YouTube or Facebook,
Yeah, and then also if you are targeting multiple areas, broaden your campaign up to target all of those areas. Lane said that this is not the only way to do it, and he's always better than he's way better than I am at marketing. Like I would take his word, but every time I've seen someone do it, their cost per lead is so high when they go and they're in 5 different markets and they run a campaign for each market, a separate campaign for each market. We used to do that. And our cost per lead was just super high. But then when we started broadening it up, so we target like all of SoCal under one campaign, that's where we ended up getting a lower cost per lead. And now that we're in other markets, our cost per lead, I'll tell you right now for PPC, it's like under, it's bumping up a little bit because we're tightening up our markets, but it's like $100.
is that a qualified or just like a submission?
No, it's a lead. A qualified lead right now is like 150. Yeah, qualified lead's like 200.
That's still really good.
Yeah, for a PPC lead, bro.
That's like your appointment cost is like $400 probably.
Yeah. Well, we make offers on everything.
Okay.
So like $314. Yeah, we'll make offers on everything. $314 cost per offer.
That's super solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that like with any kind of digital market, like if you're gonna go after a really small area, Like, dude, you got to do something that's like very scalable in very small areas. So like direct mail, cold calling. Cold calling is the least scalable, but like think about the most scalable is like door knocking because you're going to talk to the most people. So the way I look at scalability of a marketing channel is like, what's the response rate I'm going to actually get from that, like from each individual action I take. So like for each impression on Facebook, you're going to get like a good response rate would be like a 1.5 click through rate on like out of 1,000 people who see it. Wait, is that it? No, 100 people who see it, like 1.5 would click. So it's like, oh, that's if you have a population of 100,000, that's not that many clicks. And then out of the clicks, only like, 20% of those are actually going to become a lead. So it take out of 1,000 people who see it, it's like, get like a couple leads, right? 2 leads. Whereas like if you knock 1,000 doors, you're going to get like 50 leads,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We talked about this a while ago. So if you guys just study the biggest companies in the country, and look at what they're doing, you've got, like Mark Spain, you've got Sellers Advantage, you've got iBuySD, and look at, like, for example, iBuySD, super niche down, right? Like San Diego is their real main market, but they do everything. They flip houses, at least they were. They're flipping, wholesaling, Airbnbs, multifamily, everything in that one market, right? I think I'm almost sure Sellers Advantage just wholesales. Like maybe they do, maybe they flip too, but they're like very, very streamlined. But they're in a couple of markets. They're in LA, Orange County. I think they're also in like Las Vegas now and Phoenix. I know they're in Phoenix, but I don't know if they're still in Las Vegas. But like Mark Spain is the entire Southeast.
Yeah, dude, I heard a rumor that he had like 2,000 billboards across like Atlanta at one point.
Yeah, I think he sold.
He did.
I think private equity.
I think.
Yeah, so you can do it. You have to be the top guy, but you can do it.
Yeah, he was built as like a brokerage, technically.
Yeah, I think what their model is they would send somebody out, and then if it wasn't a deal, they would send a listing out, and so they would do a little bit of both, which is another good option for you.
I hired a guy who as like our like preferred like listing agent or whatever. It wasn't like hired, as like contractual work, whatever. But he was with them, and their process was they go out on an appointment, they bring a sheet with 3 offers on it. They basically have a cash offer, they have the highest price, which is like a long listing, essentially, like whatever, and they have like the they called it something special, but it's like quick off, like the maximization, like the special offer, like the middle one, but it's like listed 98% of value, sell in like 10 days or whatever, and like basically whatever but that was like what their model was.
My old business partner, when I used to have a partner, he was a broker. He's a really good broker, bro. Like if when we were wholesaling and flipping, if there was ever a deal that wasn't a wholesale deal and it was a listing, like he had the highest close rate on getting listings I've ever seen. And that was the exact strategy. Dude, it was like 80-90% on like cold, on like SMS leads.
What do you think? That's wild. What do you think you could close a listing at if you had to?
I fucking
know. If you listed all your leads.
I don't know. I've never tried. I don't know, because I would never be the type, like I'm never going to go sit in someone's living room and I don't know. Like I'm just not a listing agent personality. I don't know if it's that. It's just like my personality. I'm not really like a listing agent type. Like this guy's like friends with that. He's like super like friendly, friends with everybody, makes friends quick. Kind of. I'm like a salesperson. And I don't know if I'd put up with all the back end stuff. That's why I have Austin that helps me with a lot of that. But I don't know. I would just be making a number out of my ass if I told you I know what I could close.
You just say 100%, bro. You can just say it. It's all good.
I think 150% of all.
Because every deal would just refer you another deal, pretty much.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, his strategy was the same. It was like, hey, one thing is we create the market. And so we list it below, we get a bunch of interest. Another one is we do the middle. So we list it right at market. That's going to take this long to sell. And then the last thing is we list it high and we let people negotiate us down. He's like, I recommend this. What do you think? And he basically is like an option close. But dude, it crushed. He did really well with that. So it's like the Hormozy, just give them like a really high priced, just put a high priced product on there that nobody will buy, but it gets people to buy the cheaper thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like you can do this and then we take 6 months to sell. And then, you actually probably end up selling for less than you really thought. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works, but probably like 5% or less.
Yeah. So people are asking about the holidays coming up, which is a good topic to talk about. I think I brought this up in September, we did this. We did one of these a couple weeks ago, and I told you like September, you really have to throw a shitload of revenue on the board. I think I just checked my P&L because we did throw up a shitload of contracts on the board, and we'll break $100,000 profit this month from profit, not revenue. And because we know that we're going to go, it's going to slow down in November and December. So I try to like all that inside of September. You have to continue to do that in October, but depending on what type of ads, like Facebook does, your CPL goes up in October, October, November, December, right?
Yeah, my experience with anything digital, where anything period, not just digital, is because more people are marketing and just everything costs more to get a lead. Like our lead costs would go at 50% minimum.
Yeah. PPC for us, like it's never been bad. The amount of closings sometimes slows down because of just the short time period you have in December. You kind of have to close out everything in the first 2 weeks of December, because after that, it's like there's like very little days to actually close.
Yeah.
So
I mean, no
like,
one's really working after either.
dude, I hate every year. I always have like 2 or 3 deals that are closing between like December 24th and January 1st.
It's like
And it's so miserable because we're like, it's like everybody's kind of checked out, you know what I mean, for like a little bit. And then but you're having to like deal with like title issues, and the title company's leaving the office at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's like completely checked out. You're just trying to get your deal closed.
Well, it's like the thing that's crazy is like from Thanksgiving, like everyone kind of checks out for Thanksgiving week, I'd say in general on average.
Yeah.
And then you got like 3 weeks to get like re-ramped up to Christmas. But then really like, no one really works that hard during that time period. So it's like everything just moves slower. No one really wants to move during the holidays. Like, and if you're in a market, like, it's cold, buyers don't really want to go and like walk properties. Like it's just like a lot less happens in general.
But your cost per contract is always lower.
I do know that one year, this is not the case for everyone every year, but we looked at like our marketing dollars spent like month over month, and like how many contracts we got from that. And in November, for like 2 years in a row, like we spent like $50K and then like $80K in November and got zero contracts from the leads generated that month.
Oh, wow. That's the opposite of what I was thinking. We usually get, so that's strange, because for us, it's the opposite. We, October historically, like basically like Q3 historically has been the worst for us. But Q4, we get like really low cost per contract, because I think people are that's when people are, if they are selling, they're serious about selling, but they all want to close in January and February. You know what I mean? Like when you get a deal in late November or early December, usually they're trying to close in January or February, unless they have just a ton of distress, right? You have a really motivated seller. But I mean, the biggest thing is don't quit during those. Like, so we don't quit at all. We just take off. We take off Thanksgiving. We're back on Black Friday. We take off a half day and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then we're back. We're still hitting KPIs. Like, we're working. We hit KPIs. I don't relax. I mean, we still go through all of that, but you just have to understand that everybody else is going to be super relaxed, and you're going to get frustrated because you're dealing with novations. Your buyer's agents aren't going to be answering the phone. Your title companies are going to be checking out, all that stuff. I remember 2 years ago on Christmas Eve talking to this seller, literally on Christmas Eve. I was like at my parents' house, and I had to like go back into one of the other rooms and like talk to this seller, because the title company I just don't think they were working, but they were supposed to. It was supposed to be a business day. It's supposed to be a half day. And we're supposed to close on that day, and they just didn't show up. And so we just had to close like after Christmas, which was a big deal for the seller. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Usually that's like a major deal.
Yeah. It's like, fuck, I'm trying to get to my new house by Christmas, you know?
Yeah. He's like, I kind of don't have any money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but keep pushing through it. I mean, marketing definitely
works. Like there's definitely deals to get done. You still do deals, like stay on your follow-up. Like you're still going to close deals. You're going to do less revenue for sure in those months. But usually what I find is like March and April are like our best months of the year usually.
For revenue?
Yeah, for revenue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we have all that like pent up demand that we contract in January and into February. And usually March and April are like the biggest months we ever have.
February, March, April for us the same. Like I think probably the last, because we had never broken $200,000 last year, but by February I think we did 240K. April was a big month for us too, another like 200K plus month, and so I'm excited about this next year, about 2026 going into it. I think 2026 is going to be a good year for everybody because finally basically the mania has stopped of like, oh my gosh, the market's taken a huge hit. I mean, even if it continues to take a hit, people are just used to it by now, you know?
It's become the new norm. What do you think is going to happen? Like rates, 30-year fixed is at 5.97. I saw, so under 6 for the first time in a minute.
But yeah, you might be right. Cause I'm about to buy a house, and I think my lender said,
I don't know if it's accurate or not.
Yeah, I'm buying an investment. I'm taking a loan out on an investment property. It's 6.75 for an investment. So yeah, you're probably right, dude. Probably about 6% for maybe 5. Yeah, in the 5s for a retail home buyer. Dude, here's something interesting. The CIA is, you guys want to talk about something off topic, but it's going to relate back to this. The CIA has been posting a lot that they're warning everybody of another huge terrorist attack. And it's supposed to be like a big plan. Like we're getting more signals than even 9/11 that there's going to be a terrorist attack, multi-city, and they have details too. So like one of the details is that people are going to be dressed up as police officers and nurses. So there's going to be terrorists that's dressed up as police officers and nurses, multi-city. They're saying it's going to be bigger than 9/11. Like if that kind of stuff happens, obviously that changes like a huge trajectory for the economy. Sort of like COVID, sort of like 9/11.
They know like an ETA?
No. I mean, that's the thing that they don't know when it's going to happen. Because dude, if you think about it, back in 9/11, they had intel, and a lot of people say the reason that happened is the CIA and the FBI weren't talking to each other enough, but they had intel that was going to happen. And so I think they're just being a little bit louder about it right now. Like, hey, we want to make sure that this doesn't happen.
Bro, I will say it's an interesting thing because I've seen a lot more in at least Denver, just driving around, just like remembering the last couple of days. There's been a lot more like police officers in undercover cars.
Really?
Yeah. Which, not saying that that's what they are, but
what they're there for. But yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting how it might blend in and you not even notice it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if something happens, like obviously there's a lot of tension everywhere. If something happens, I mean, that's the thing is that's why nobody can predict what's going to happen in the economy is there's too many variables, bro. Like, I think that the market's going to crash in 2019. Everybody's saying the market's about to crash. And then it's like, okay, well then we have a global pandemic and the market doubles in 2 years, you know? So I don't know. I mean, other than all of that, like all of that stuff that could happen, you know, a war, a terrorist attack, something that like really shifts the economy. Other than that, man, if that doesn't happen, it just stays the same. I just think that there's a huge wave of foreclosures coming right now. Last time I checked, remember, you know, we always do Google Trends on this. You want to see something crazy? So, bro, look at
I've been looking at, but keep going.
Yeah, this is crazy. So if you look up "help with my mortgage,"
rocketing.
Dude, remember last time we saw this? It was the same as 2008.
Is it higher?
Look at this. It's higher.
It's fucking been going up for the last that's also April data. Like, wait, click on the yeah, see, like, because it's like so far back, but it reports.
No, this is October.
Oh, it's October. Okay, so never mind.
Yeah, it's peaking right now at September of 2025, higher than the end of September, because it updates every month. So we'll see what it does in October, but literally higher than 2008. So
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is a lot of distress in the market. We are talking to so many people that are underwater and in foreclosure. That's a huge thing that we're running into right now. So like we had to literally put a box in our CRM for the houses underwater just to like feed that back into Google and let my marketing guy know, because we were getting so many houses that are underwater. And that was something that you really didn't hear about in 2022, 2021. It wasn't like people were completely underwater. You know, everybody had equity. 2 months after they bought the house, they had equity, you know? So yeah, that's a big thing that I think that's going to continue to come. I think we have a good opportunity to buy rentals and then hold them for a little bit and refinance.
I think affordable housing is going to be the play over the next like decade, you know?
Yeah.
Because,
my buddy's doing that.
Yeah. It's like one of the things that, I don't know if you know Frank, I don't know if you know Frank Kava or not, but he's in Virginia. They do like 5-6 million a year in their investing business. He's hundreds of doors. Anyways, he posted something the other day just about how now the top 10% of American earners, so top high income earners, account for over 50% of all the consumer spending, which typically it's about like 30 to 35%, which means that everyone else is kind of getting priced out. And then the home price history, I could show you these graphs. Let me show you this graph. This is actually kind of wild. Let me share screen. Okay. Entire screen. Okay. So can you see the screen? Yeah. So like this is the graph he posted. This is the home and affordability like price index basically relative like inflation adjusted, whatever. But this is the housing prices. So in 2006, this is the bubble. Look at that fucking rise in pricing when there was like no financing struggles or whatever. Like everyone loans. Look at it now. It's been up too. So it's the most unaffordable homes I've ever been. And then like the chart is like 50% of the top 10 homeowners basically are up here, which we've kind of been in this range for a while. But I think that's why people thought, you know, the economy might crash in 2018, 2019. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But his take is affordable housing is going to be the play. And I think he's right.
What do you think about, I mean, do you want there to be regulations for wholesalers? Do you think that there should be more regulations?
There should be more than, it's kind of like what we're talking about with the coaching industry. There should be some like, there should be more. It shouldn't, like, I'm not a fan of regulation in like the sense where it's like, gosh, like with insurance and the medical system, like it's all fucked. But there should definitely be penalties for being like an asshole, you know, or being like unethical in the way you do business. And, you know, I'm sure some of that's coming, but it's also so hard because it's like, how do you regulate someone offering someone more with the intent? It's hard to prove against having intent to buy. You know what I mean?
I think this is what I believe there should be something similar to the mortgage industry. I'm going to get a bunch of hate for this. I don't give a fuck either. Something similar to the mortgage industry. So like when I got my mortgage license, the test that you have to pass to be an MLO, I believe there was like a 50% fail rate. It was like a 50-50. So you had to actually study, you had to actually understand things. I think that there should be some like tests you have to take to understand how to comp a property. Like that should be one. You should understand, you should have some form of ethics. There should be some sort of like ethics board, like, hey, if you do this, this is unethical. Just so people understand, like they know like what to watch out for. They go over laws. Like, I just heard about, I think we might've talked about this last week. There are people that will buy houses. They will put a memo on the property with no intention to buy it. And then they just keep the memo and wait till the seller sells, and they collect like $2,500, $5,000. They just cloud the title, which is fraud for sure. Right. That's absolute fraud. But like that, like, you know, being aware of things like that.
Or like 40-year, like there's people doing like 100-year listing agreements, you know, have you seen that?
No way. No.
Yeah. There's this whole thing in like California that was happening for a while. I think it probably got, you know, resolved, but
Unison, I think, got their PP slapped because they were they were basically giving people like 20 grand in exchange for some equity in their home, but they would get like 30% of the equity in the home for like 20 grand. And I had like at least 2 sellers reach out in the last couple of years, like, oh yeah, I can't sell because Unison has to approve the sale of my house. So they can't sell it to a cash buyer because Unison has to approve it. And basically, they have control over if you can even sell your own home. They're like, no, I'm not good with that offer. They could just say no. But I think they got in some trouble from what I saw. But I think there should be like, here's the thing, like for mortgage lenders, they just tend to be better because there's that little bit of regulation. They tend to be a little bit more professional than wholesalers and agents.
Realtors, you know, just
but
like
realtors are dog shit, dude. Like
they're way worse.
Yeah, like they're just as bad as wholesalers because they don't learn anything. Yeah. And I say just as bad as wholesalers. There's a lot of really bad wholesalers out there.
Yeah,
and
there's also a lot of really bad realtors like that.
I'm saying
clients hundreds of thousands of dollars by just not being good.
Dude, I had a seller the other gosh, it was probably a couple months ago. The seller had a cash offer from us. It was somebody on my team that was trying to get this deal closed, and then somehow the realtor ended up getting a listing agreement signed. And basically, like the house had like 5 days before it was going to go to auction. We were going to help them stop it. And the realtor just decided to list it. And of course, the seller freaking loses their house. It's like absolute, like that is like unethical.
They probably didn't even know it was in foreclosure.
Dude, it's just they're.
I mean,
I've had real estate agents that you know, like they let their ego literally cost them clients money. That is very common, where their ego will literally cost clients money because they feel they're like, fine, don't submit an offer then. I don't care. I'm like, dude, you're representing the seller. And so I think there should be and the board of realtors is completely like they don't actually do anything. So I think there should be something like that for wholesalers, where it's like a test you have to pass, show that you understand how to comp properties, you know, like have some level of intent, some level of professionalism that you need. And look who decided to show up.
What up?
Look at this guy showing up an hour late.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm traveling, but I wouldn't miss an opportunity to get with you two and chop it up on how to win in life and real estate.
We're talking about should there be regulations for wholesalers? Should we have some sort of regulation, like a licensing system? Should they have some sort of education, recurring education? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm pro regulation,
dude.
There are some stupid people in the world.
At least, here's what I would add: at least like a $2,500 application fee to be able to apply to be a wholesaler. You know what I mean?
Like a business license. Like you got to get a business license. You got to take an ethics class and get a business license.
That's what we're talking about.
And we could talk about NOIs. Like you shouldn't be weaponizing NOIs.
That we're just talking about that, dude. We're just talking about that.
There are appropriate times to do it. You guys obviously know this, but like it kills me, the NOI thing, and then weaponizing NOIs, and then having the price drop, dude. I just seen this guy post this on the internet. This guy's name's Brian Sigmund. Like I don't know this guy, but can I cuss? Because he's
fuck yeah, dude. We've been cursing the whole time.
He's a complete piece of shit. His business practice is to go price drop like days before closing every time, no matter what, for no reason. So, other than
dude, I literally, it's funny. Money. I just had a guy in my advanced group ask me, "Hey, can you write a script for price drops?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm not gonna like. I have we have a process when we do it ethically. Like, hey, we just got the photos back. This house is not what you said. You lied to us.
Plenty of reasons to do it."
But I'm not going to create a script just to give you guys, like, I'm not going to be one of those people that teaches you how to price drop your sellers. I told him, like, I have an ethical dilemma with that. I'm not doing it. And so, and I'm not saying we do have to price drop every once in a while, but we tell the seller right away, you know, like
we set appropriate expectations up front. And when something comes up that requires us to do it, we do it.
Yep. That's just the way it works. And if you fuck it up and you miss your pricing, because that happens sometimes, and like do it in the first week, you know?
Yeah. Let them know right away.
Yeah. Like don't string them out for 30 days. And then they get like, I was just talking.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it. It's like you string them out for 3-4 weeks and you're like, hey dude, I got to be down 40 grand. Like, no, dude, like that's fucked up. Actually.
Dude, I'll even fuck my own team a little bit if I feel like like, for example, I talked to the seller.
Bro, fucking your own team.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what
don't
I
do
mean by that.
That's not
What
good either.
I'll tell you what I mean by
It's
that.
not ethical for sure.
If for example we're doing a deal and I had this seller that she's pregnant, right, and she wants to close before December, and like, okay, normally for a novation we're going to need 30 days to be able to go through and inspect it. I'll tell my team, hey guys, you have to get this done in 2 weeks, because if we're going to cancel for whatever reason, and I told the seller, like, hey, could happen, shit comes up, we're going to do an inspection, we're going to get buyers through. If we don't have a buyer, I don't want to tell you in 30 days. Like, I will, when I say fuck my team, I mean put pressure on my team to fucking do things faster, because it's like, I want to make sure that this person's taken care of, even though yes, we can make more money. And we've literally, I'll tell you,
here's the deal too, though. I don't like, let's not over, the sellers lie all the time.
For sure.
And
yeah,
so we had a hurricane. This is like a few months ago, and we get this super hot lead. This guy's like paraplegic. His like electricity's not on. It's a great house. The price he said is like ridiculous low. We're gonna make a boatload of money. Lindsay goes and gets a truck, drives to the dude's house, hands him $1,000 cash. Like, we're getting this lead. So he didn't have we wanted to put him in a hotel room. We felt bad, right? No, he's a paraplegic. He ain't got no legs. Like, he got no power in his house.
That's crazy.
So crazy, right? But we're like, he's like, I got to have some money to like get into the hotel. We're like, yeah, of course. Like, we're going to do right by the seller. The problem is he did it to 5 other people and collected like $6,000. And there was a legal title issue that was never getting solved. The house was never getting sold.
I had that happen.
And we all got swindled. The funny thing is it came to head and we're like, yo, this is mine. They're like, no, this is mine. And then like 4 of us.
No, I gave him $1,000.
I
gave him $1,000.
Yeah. And we find out we gave this dude like $5,000 or $6,000. And we're like, well, let's figure out a way to get our money back if we can close on this thing. And we couldn't. It was like literally an unclosable deal. It was wild.
I had the same thing happen with a
seller. He straight swindled us.
I had the same exact thing, and I paid for the seller. I put her in a hotel. She's like, I got my kids. Yes, you can. She was like, yeah, I'll sign the contract. You're good. I just need somewhere to go. I was like, all right, cool. Go to this hotel. I'll pay for it. Put her in there for a week and a half to get her figured out. And then next day, a real estate agent calls me. Oh yeah, she just completely lied to you. She has no right to sell this property. She knew that. The police are coming tomorrow to kick her out of the house. Her husband owns this house now. And so, like, yeah, I've had the exact same thing happen. You're right. Sellers lie to us too, but I think that's not an excuse for people to be absolute shitty and lock up shit they have no intention of closing.
Yeah. Oh, this should be near and dear to your heart, John. Like, some of these people they'll lock it up high and renegotiate as a practice.
It's a strategy.
It's easy to get it signed when you tell them the price they want.
Yeah, that's so true.
Wait, what do you
say? That's very easy. It's easy to get it signed if you tell them the price that they want to hear.
I want $200K. Cool, I'll do it. Sign the contract. 0 sales skill, and then they try to go price drop. I'm like, dude, go work on your sales skills. Like, go get coaching and become better at talking to sellers.
Yeah,
don't be unethical piece of crap.
I had a client, literally 2 clients, same lead. One of my clients was like, hey, I got it at 405. What do you think I can sell it at? Or what do you think I need to be at? I was like, dude, you got to be at 350, maybe 360 if you're going to buy it. I need to close in 3 weeks. He's like, damn, like, he won't go any lower. Another client texts me, hey, dude, I got this at 360. What do you think? It's a good deal. Same fucking deal. I was like, dude, buy it. It's a good deal. And then that was it. I was like, what'd you do different? He's like, I don't know. I told him these other offers were bullshit, and that was it.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I might have a call in a minute.
He also put 15K EMD down, but that's another story.
Aisha asked, can anyone help me? Yes, we can probably help you. But we need to know what you need help with. So I'm not sure how we can help you yet.
Go to johnlalonde.com and fill out a form. He can help you.
Yeah, boys, I got a call right now, so I'm set at the bounce.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. Let's do this again. All right.
See you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye, guys.